Ahoy there, Gwent fans! I'm Dead Broke Nerd, and I have another Gwent deck for you guys. As many of you know, Gwent is one of my favorite games to wind down in the evening, and I really like sharing some of the decks that I play around with, just so you guys can try them out too. Now, I'm not making any claims that these are the best decks that are going to take you high up the ladder, but they're decks that I have a lot of fun playing with, so if you're trying out Gwent, or if you're just looking for something a little bit different, feel free to give these decks a try. So this one is actually a new version of one of my favorite decks from the last patch, which is my Crime Never Prays deck, okay? It is Syndicate. It uses Himmelfart, or now that it is separated from the leader, Congregate as your leader ability, which is our Firesworn Zealot Swarm strategy, okay? And this is kind of a slight adaptation, or actually a pretty big adaptation, of a idea that McBeard had when McBeard played around with it on stream, which is this idea of, what if I don't care about coins and you only really play coins that you're going to immediately get value off of? Because I tell you what, the Congregation Crime card is actually way better, of course, if you don't have coins and you can get 3 zealots instead of just 2. So that's the idea here, right? We want to always get 3 zealots off of Congregation. And now that's not saying we're not playing anything that profits or has fees, but the things that we are playing, you can just immediately use them and you won't be stuck with any coins left over, okay? So now, obviously, I've included some of the cards from the new Iron Judgement set. There's some really neat things that go into this list, I think, or maybe are competing for space in the list. And I've just sort of tuned this to my own personal play style. You know, I really like Vigo's Muscle. I put it in almost every deck. It's just super good. But the idea here is Sacred Flame is kind of the round 3 finisher, if you will, or rather round 3 engine facilitator, which is when you play it, it's an artifact, and of course it will sit around. Anytime you summon a unit or spawn a unit, that's an important distinction, spawn a unit, it gets boosted. And then, of course, it does spawn Firesworn Zealots itself, which will immediately. So it will give you 6 points right away, and then more points as you spawn more Zealots, okay? But it doesn't just have to be Zealots, right? That pairs greatly with Germain, which spawns cows, you know, and also pairs really nicely with this new guy, Azar Javed, who spawns scarabs. And so, of course, he has the profit 3, and then immediately you can sacrifice those 3 coins and summon 2 scarabs, and those scarabs are defenders, which is this new keyword where they have to be targeted first by your opponent, so it will protect some of your other creatures that are out there. And so it's got the, you know, the temporary armor on the scarabs. It's just a fun way to include some of the new cards. I think it's pretty good. I think Defender's pretty good, and it can protect a couple of your engines, which you don't have a million engines, but the few that you have, the Arena and Draga is really nice for just damaging, getting some extra pings on units, although I think it won't be quite as good with all the armor. We have the Piercing Missiles in here. It used to run Azur's Thunder, but I decided to just play this because it's new, and also because I know a lot of people are going to mess around with armor, so this will help you get through for just 1 less damage. Finally, we have in our bronze package here, the Eternal Fire Disciple just basically says spawn a Firesworn Zealot. I mean, we're really not going to get much else, because we're not getting a lot of coins, except if you do have a Fire Disciple, or your Helvede. These guys want to fee 2 to summon Zealots. When you use all 3 of your charges, when you use your last charge on Congregate, it does give you 2 coins, which you ideally want to use if one of these 2 are out at the time. I'm running a couple weird things, which is Glorious Hunt, which destroys the unit with the highest base power, because most of the time all your units are small. The exceptions being Procession of Penance, which obviously you want to have as a 10-point for 6. That's amazing. You just have to set it up. Or the new card, Greater Brothers, which I'm testing. I think it's a really neat card, cool card art, and what it wants to do is just be a big finisher, round finisher, where your opponent can't do anything to you, or it can also just kind of be a big scary threat, and they have to put effort into killing it. And of course, anytime that armor starts to get low, you can fee and boost that armor back up again. So we're just playing around with that. Bone Talisman is a last play kind of card, And everything else is pretty straightforward, I think. But guys, I don't think this deck's very good, but the first thing that I was interested in Syndicate was swarming, so I've been playing it for a while. I really do like it. Hope you guys like it too. If you enjoy the gameplay, leaving a like would be awesome. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, that is the best way to support my channel, helping me grow as a content creator. If you have any ideas or suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I hope you enjoy the game with Crime Never Prays. Alright, it looks like we got ourselves a game here. Let's see what we can do with our little makeshift swarm deck here. For some reason, Gudrun keeps popping up as our profile leader. I don't know how to change it. I've tried changing it. I thought I changed it. It's still not Himmelfart. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, let's take a look at our opening hand. So we do have the Casino Bouncers. We like to see that. We have the Eternal Fire Disciple. That's not bad. And the Congregation and a... Okay. What are we playing up? What are we up against? Oh, he's going to steal our stuff, huh? Well, it's really not that bad. There's not a lot to steal. I think I'm going to get rid of this Inquisitor because it's not super good. We'll keep Damnation. I'm going to ditch a Bone Talisman as well. Okay, so we should be able to... It's going to be a bribery. For some reason, the board is a little pixelated. I'm not sure what's up with that. I wonder if it will... I don't want to forfeit. Not sure why that's happening. Opponent's still deciding on bribery. So we're looking to lead with the Casino Bouncers, I think. It's going to be a... Steals a Freak Show. That's neat. Alright. So we'll go with our Casino Bouncers.
Fancy a game of Kaviri roulette?
So that's going to thin our deck out just a little bit. Help us find our Sacred Flames and such. Alright, opponent playing some more stuff. It's Albrecht. Move any card from your deck to the top. If it's a unit, boost it by 2. Okay. Alright, classic Nilfgaard. Am I right? Alright, let's see. Now, we do have the ability to Piercing Missile and take this down to 1 so that it can't do any damage. We also have just a straight-up Congregation, which we could play. We can put down some of our Eternal Fire Disciples. In fact, these might bite some removal. So we'll go ahead and play one of these and force our opponent to try to answer it. That's probably a wise philosophy. We've got double Congregation, Disciple, and Inquisitor. Like, that's a lot. Okay, it's gonna lock. Does it lock my other copy? Looks like it did not. Okay. So let's see. They still haven't done anything. I'm gonna go ahead and Congregation. No, we're gonna wait one more turn on that. We're gonna play our other Disciple. Yep. And then next turn we'll go Congregation, and then what we'll do is we'll go into Procession of Penance. Okay, it's gonna boost if you have a locked creature. There is one. My opponent steals my Eternal Fire Disciple with their leader. That's really good. That denies that leader value. Now, granted, they're probably running Damien, but if we can, of course, keep an eye out for that and snipe it with a Vigo's Muzzle or something before it can give him his power back, that would be ideal. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go with Congregation here. I don't see a reason to play anything else. Yeah, we're going to Congregate and pass. We're probably going to go for Damnation on the Eternal Fire Disciple. We're just going to wait to see if something else comes down next to it. And in fact, that enables us to not have to use any of our charges. That's a Slave Driver. Okay. Alright. This will deal three adjacent enemy deal 3 adjacent enemy units by 2 damage. So we'll do that. We'll get So they'll do 6 damage and give us 2. Takes them to 23. Takes us to 18. And I think we're okay with that. Now, I could go for the piercing missile play. In fact, I think I will. I think we'll go piercing missile here so that it can't insanity us. And it also sets up a better damnation so that we can get 2 disciples instead of just 1, making this a 6, 8, 10-point play. 10-point play for 9. That's about right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that now.
Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
Cool. We're good with that. I frankly expect my opponent to pass fairly soon. Thing is, like, what are they going to do? Kill some 2-drops? Like, if they don't have board clear, they have no way to convincingly win this. And with my 2 big guys here, we're going to be able to pump out a lot of, like, quick damage our opponent maybe isn't expecting. There's Damien, and oof, we really can't do much about it, can we? But if we pass here, okay, if we pass here, then my opponent would have to pass as well, or my opponent would have to play a card if they want this ability to go off. Is that a big deal? Do we care if our opponent? We do care if our opponent like steals Helvede. Is there anything else in here that we really care about our opponent stealing? Like an Arena and Drago would be bad. Like, the ability to deny that is really nice. So, they will go... We'll be up a card, we'll play a card, and win the round, and then we'll be even on cards. I think we want to pass. Yeah, we're going to pass. They got to go down 2 cards if they want the leader back. Okay, they want the leader back. Cool, we're going to get last say now. I think that's worth it. Especially because we really... What? Yeah, it didn't matter. Okay, I was going to say, like, what's he doing? Okay. Lost the round. Great. Whatever, right? I don't really care. Andrega, Bone Talisman, and Vigo's Muzzle. Well, we wish we'd had Vigo's Muzzle earlier. Let's take a look. So we want to pretty heavily mulligan for the Sacred Flame. It's really important for our overall strategy. So we want to definitely mulligan 2 cards here. We'll go ahead and we'll throw back 1 Bone Talisman. We get an Eternal Fire Priest. You know what? We'll go ahead and throw back this Arena Andrega as well. A Glorious Hunt. Glorious Hunt is not going to be super useful for us. We'll mulligan on our next turn. We'll play the Fire Priest here just to snag the second round. Yep. And then we're going to go into this long round. Like I said, we're going to mulligan hard for our Sacred Flame here. We don't need 2 Bone Talismans. We got Germain. Germain's great. Like I said, we just really... Oh, we really want the Sacred Flame here. Okay, if we don't get Sacred Flame, what card would we rather have? Glorious Hunt's going to be tough to pull off with these guys involved. Okay, so we did not get Sacred Flame. That really kind of sucks. But hopefully we'll be able to snag this anyways. We lead, but we are up a card, so we will also be the last play. So let's see. I think I want to lead with the Freak Show. Yes, we're going to lead with the Freak Show. And we're doing that because if my opponent for some reason drops a 6 power unit that we really want to be able to steal with the muzzle, we can do that. Now, of course, it gets locked. Oh, darn. Let's see. How do we want to do this? What's next? I think we want Azar. No, we don't want to play Azar yet. We don't want to play much yet. I guess we just play the Congregation. Yeah, we're just going to play Congregation. One thing you have to watch out for is the Scarabs give you coins when they die, and so that can occasionally mess up your Zealots if you're not careful. We're just going to go ahead and end here. It's got a muzzle. Interesting choice. really that does not impact us like whatsoever. I mean, it's a good value play, but we've got one too. We can always take it back later in the game, or we can take something more valuable. Okay, so next up we want to go. I think we want to go Azur here. Yeah. And we're going to get ourselves some scarabs. Seems good. Nice defensively minded creatures here. Look at these little guys, see? They're money scarabs. What that's going to do, too, really, is that's going to protect our cows. That's pretty relevant. I think this is always our last play as a 10-point play. We basically can do two 10-point slams for a really nice low provision cost. So that's pretty darn cool about this deck. And especially if we have last say, this is just straight up a 10-point slam. That's a tourney joust. Remove an enemy's thing and then deal 4 damage. Okay, yeah. Now keep in mind, our opponent still has their leader ability, right? So obviously we want to get max value out of Helveed when we get around to playing it. I think, so we got our money. I think we want to go Germain now. Well, no, let's see. If we go Helveed, no, we don't want to go Helveed. That's a play where we just spawn a ton of things. We're going to go with our cows. We're going to put the cows down. We're going to let the cows come home. Yeah. Thing is, he can always steal Helveed, and so we want to make sure that we get all the value. Okay, that's interesting. Steals our scarab. Okay, no big deal. So next is... we could steal it back. I don't think we really want to, though. So Helveed's going to get us 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's going to get us 3. So we have 6 zealots to put on the board. We honestly don't even really have room for them all. Which is why I'm kind of concerned about this. Which is why I'm thinking about just going muzzle, but I don't want to do that yet. I think we're gonna. Okay, we'll just fill the board. Heck, okay.
Go on, move now. Deserves no mercy. Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
And then one here.
Remove his cowl.
Man, really hoping they don't. So I did one thing wrong, which is I should have placed one manually up here because I missed out on a single point there. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world at all. We're going to give ourselves a big point slam here. It's also going to be a little bit of a target on our board. We kind of want him to kill some stuff here to create room for our big boys, but, you know, there's worse problems to have than having a full board. Give, so you can destroy an enemy doomed unit unless we steal it. Wait, why did that happen? Lock an enemy unit with 5 or less power and seize it. Oh, we would have to bring it over to our ranged row. Okay, well that's actually, I see. I didn't know it had to come to the same, seize had to come to the same row. That it that has never come up with me before. Okay. We're just gonna go ahead and buff all of our stuff. And I think we're gonna get this at the 10 points from Greater Brothers. I think we're gonna get this here.
For a barbarian.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, see, there we go. That wasn't too bad. Learned a little lesson there on the Vigo's muzzle, but yeah, definitely worked out really nicely. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this list. If you do, give it a try. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys for the next Gwent video. Have a good one.